Hello and welcome to Match Fishing TV. It's been a busy old week and we'll get straight into the action. I'm joined in the studio by Tom Scholey.
Hello.
And Matt Godfrey.
Good evening.
Okay, quite a few results to get through this week, lads. It's end of a few winter leagues and what have you, and we've had a couple of rounds of the Preston pole fishing pairs. I think you guys were on at Garblino Lindo, weren't you?
We were, yes. We had quite a nice day, didn't we? Looking fair.
Incredibly fair match at Lindo.
It was very
wasn't
fair,
it? Yeah.
very, very fair. I thought the same.
I can't believe how fair it was.
To be fair, I must say I felt a bit sorry for Sam Wildsmith because he was the first one in the draw queue. And when we're running the match, we always like to get somebody else to draw for us nice and early in the queue. That's our little thing. So everyone else is nice and fair. So Sam pulled himself and Andy Goldart 2 pegs out. And I said, well, you pull me and Matt 2 pairs out. And when he drew them, I thought, well, they sound all right. But as it happened, they were more than all right. They were brilliant, weren't they?
Yeah.
Matt actually won the match off his peg. He had £46.7. Caught some skimmers, didn't you?
I had a lovely day, wasn't it? Nicest day's commercial fishing in winter I've ever had. Proper nice. Well, loads of skimmers and then a few F1s later.
And you obviously, so you won your section with that. And I was second in the match and also won my section with 35.12. I caught a few skimmers, then I caught some nice Iden chub on maggots and a few big F1s later. So that were a lovely day's fishing. And we managed to win as a pair, didn't we?
Yeah.
Excellent. So, correct me if I'm wrong, but Sam, he's a mate, isn't he?
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So you lads won it.
Yeah.
And Matt Pillay, Steve Watson were second.
They were. They had £54.8 cumulative weight. And third was Paul Wright and Mick Owen, who had £50 1.5 ounces.
So it's been a pretty good match.
It was really close, Rog. You know, like from sort of 10th place up to second, it were like between £40 and £50. There were loads of £20 weights, of silvers, skimmers, roach, had F1s. Really good winter fishing.
But in all fairness, and without massaging your egos too much, you two pretty much blitzed it, didn't you?
Well,
Did you give Sam a drink?
No.
He only drinks Coke anyway, bless him.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. He's a cheap person to buy for.
Bless him.
So well done. Okay, so that's you guys through to the final. So at least we're going to have organisers there.
That's
if nothing
handy.
else.
Yeah.
That's how it works, yeah. Okay, and there was another round down at Gold Valley.
It was.
Certainly was. No strangers won the round, but they have already qualified. They qualified last week, Will Raisin and Callum Dix, Will actually won the match of the day, had £33, caught some bream and skimmers on long pole. I think he fished bloodworm, Will. He likes to feed a load of bait on a long pole, sit some weights and often catches late on. I'm going to try and get a feature, maybe with him doing that a little bit.
Exactly that, yeah.
Yeah, really interesting eye fishers. Kai was second with 15.14 and Mark Goddard, venue regular, third with 14.13. But in the pairs, couple of local lads, Tommy Elliott and Nick Howell, were second to Callum and Will.
Yeah.
They had 17.5, so they go through to the final. Third place was Jay Francis and Kai with 16.10, another qualifying pair.
They take the runners-up spot, yeah.
Yeah, and obviously because Will and Callum have already qualified, fourth place sneaks in, and that was young Bradley Gibbons, young England international, and his partner in crime, Mark Goddard, who had £15.9.
There was, looking at the results individually, there were obviously some tough areas again, weren't there?
Yes, very much so.
There was, I think as long as your partner did a job, you got half a chance.
It's interesting. I was speaking to Bradley on the phone as well, and he said, again, a lot of the fish that were caught in the last hour.
Yeah.
Bradley went for a walk for half of the match.
Because Bradley's had less than £1, hasn't he? And the pair's qualified, I think.
Yeah, I think he had one bream.
Yeah.
One skimmer.
A skimmer and a perch he had.
That
Bless him, yeah.
Yes.
It's been tough down there this year.
Very, very.
Tells.
Okay. Still, those guys are through. You're through. Well done. Let's move on to the first of the Angling Trust Winter Leagues, and the Northants won at Castle Ashby.
Yeah, the last round, and they've been great at sending the results through this year, so we've been able to pretty much follow this one.
The final round should have been last week, but it was frozen, wasn't it?
That's right, yeah.
Wimps. Bunch of wimps. Break the ice.
I'll tell you what, you wouldn't want to say that to winning team, Garblino RAF. They'd have you shot down by a fighter. But yeah, the teams on the day, Garblino RAF won it with 48 points. Preston Innovations, Black Horse were second with 46 points. And Brown and Northampton were third with 44 points. And that meant in the league stakes, Black Horse won with 11 points. So well done to them. RAF was second with 14 points.
They'd have fished it. They'd wanted to fish it. I'm going to cover myself here. The RAF lads, they'd have wanted to go ahead and fish it last week, I'm certain of it. Because they're tough lads.
It's amazing how quickly napalm can melt ice as well, isn't it? Coating of that and you'd be in, wouldn't you?
Yeah.
In terms of the match itself, Grendon Lake was won by Mick Howlett. He had £19.11. The carp in that league count as £2 each. and he's had quite a few carp, plus a bream on method feeder and maggot. Scotland Pool was won by Mick Dalziel from the RAF. He had £19 3. He actually caught roach and big rudd on pole and wedge, so that sounds like a nice day's fishing.
Love the day's fishing.
And Brickyard Pond was won by Mark Moody, who is from the A team, which is a ominous sound. Although looking at the league results, we're obviously not the A team.
They are A team.
Yeah, they are.
That's it. It's accurate.
He had £23 8 ounce of skimmers and small carp, as well as some roach and perch, and he caught 16 metres on the pole with worms and maggots.
He's had top weight on the day. I've got a horrible feeling, being from that area of the country, he probably had to buy all his teammates a beer.
Bless you.
So, well done, Mark. Okay, and Matt, I'm going to let you have a go at this one because you're not very good at pronouncing
Well,
this,
I'll
are
tell you all at home. I've had some stick this morning because Tom were pinning the old sheets up that we look at, and I said, "Oh, Gillingham AC," and Roger's like, "No, it's Gillingham AC." But
It's actually
like
Gillingham AA, but...
Gillingham AA. There you go. I get it wrong every time. But it sounded like a lovely match on the Dorset Stour, a river I've never fished before. I didn't even know they had matches on it, to be fair, until we saw this. But it sounds lovely fishing. It was won by Jason Mills. He had £13.14, 3 chub, some roach and some dace on very traditional tactics, a little bit of stick float fishing with maggots. Runner-up were Pete Edwards, who had £13.13. He caught some chub and some smaller fish as well. Same tactics again. And third was Dave Anders, who wasn't on a very good peg apparently, pegged 27. And he ended up with £13 dead. He caught perch.
It's you say you don't hear many matches on there. I seem to remember a long time ago I went out to do a presentation there when I was editing Match Fishing magazine, and the following day they had a Christmas match on. I think it was the Stour, and it is one of those venues where if you draw right, you're going to have a red letter day's fishing. And if you draw wrong, you're going to be thinking, how come I've walked all this way,
Isn't it?
and there's nothing in the peg.
Correct
You can see the bottom, and you can see every rock.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but this is a specimen of it at the Dorset Stour. Every chance of a £2
there's an awful lot of big fishing.
I always remember when I was a kid, like you'd watch John Wilson or read his books and that, and he always used to be on them rivers down there fishing like stick float and bread flake, catching big roach.
And things like that. Yeah.
Proper nice.
No, it is a cracking piece of water. No getting away from it. It's picturesque, I think is how they say it.
And we've got an excuse for going now. There's matches on it. We can go and do a feature down there.
Definitely.
Be nice, that would.
It would.
Okay, and to round off the first half of the show, the Shrewsbury match on the 7.
I've got to say, I fell in love last week, Roger. I went for the first time to Shrewsbury to have a look at this match length that I've heard so much about and did a feature with Darren Frost. And what a place. Absolutely.
It is a lovely room, isn't it?
Oh, absolutely gorgeous.
Stunning.
And what's better, there's an all-girls college right behind where you fish, so wouldn't know which way to look. You can put a bollo down and see it going under with a great big dace that way, or you've got stunning 20 and 21-year-old girls strolling down that side.
Are you sure that they're that old?
Ish. Anyway.
I bet he's missed every single bite he's had.
Anyway, this open match really was something special. It was run on the famous quarry length. And leading the way was a man who was no stranger to success on there. Speedy, as they all call him, or Ian Ward is his Sunday name. He's had an incredible 355 dace on 6 and 7 metre whips, and he's finished with £52 11 ounce, which sets what is a new modern day 7 match record, or Shrewsbury match record, should I say. Second place was Clive Wynn. He alternated between pole and bollo and had £52 8, so only just behind Speedy.
Amazing.
Scott Jeans from Preston was third. He had 47.15. He got through 23 litres of ground bait, he did, so he's really attacked the peg and fished a big whip. And fourth was Steve Mayer. He had 46.15. But the top 7 anglers between them weighed an incredible 335 pounds. So it's some big head of dace there at the moment.
Amazing venue that at the minute, isn't it?
And I'll tell you how in love Tom fell with it. He's running a 2-day festival there over the Christmas holiday.
I've heard all about it. Go on, tell
I bet he's not stopped talking about it.
Yeah.
Go on then, Tom, tell us about your festival.
Right, 2-day Christmas festival. It's not just me, it's me and Darren Frost. We're having 2 nice days fishing and a nice night out in between. That's the idea.
So the weights will be lower on the second day.
You've got it. It's on the 30th, so the 29th and 30th of December. If you want to book on, just give me a call, 07971 620 489, or drop me a text. It is limited to 30 places, and I think it will sell out fairly quickly. So one thing I have got to add about this as well is he's not allowed to go. Girlfriend said no.
I'm off up to Edinburgh.
Not then you're not. It's the day after you go.
No, I'm going on the same date, 30th.
No, it's not. I'll tell you.
Has he banned you? She's banned you.
She's banned me.
Okay. Enjoy that. We'll see you after the break. Welcome back. Okay, let's get straight into the action again. Tunnel Barn Winter League teams of 4.
We're a right dobbing fest by the sounds of it this week, or certainly for the winner, Matt Bingham. He had 115-13 from the same peg that won the match last time, in the last round of this Winter League. But rather than catching on maggots and pellets and stuff like that, he actually caught on bread dobbing, never fed a thing, and in his first 50 drops in, he had 50 F1s. So that's a nice little start to your match,
It is,
isn't it?
Steady away, that, isn't it?
Yeah, proper.
And then you decided to do something else. This is
Yeah.
too easy.
Brilliant. But I mean, I think there's definitely more to that dobbing than a lot of people think as well. Like, the same people seem to do well with it a lot
I think
of the time.
confidence is key as well.
Oh, it takes some nuts, doesn't it, to ship out without feeding any bait and just
Yeah.
plonk a rig in.
Yeah.
But yeah, Matt won the match. Jason Brown was second. He had £101.8, and third was Chris Hendrick. He had £100 exactly. And on
Big weights.
Oh,
This
massive.
time of year. I mean, that is a lot of fish being caught.
Yeah,
Right.
I had a look at the top 10 and I think £81 or £80 was 10th or something like that. 9-4-10th, so it's fished really, really well. It just shows, doesn't it? It's warmed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And
And
then
it was
fish,
very mild at the weekend.
Yeah.
It was. And credit to Tunnel and all. It's not like we're talking about a few anglers spaced out here. This is a 106 peg match.
Well,
You know, it's,
yeah.
it's a big match.
Yeah.
Awesome.
On the team front now, Matrix under 5s. I don't think they are all under 5.
Not far off, some of them, I think.
Really? Well, they've done brilliant. They've had 98 points on the day to win. Second were Dynamite Maver Midlands, who had 80 points, and joint with them, but with less weight, was Shakespeare.
Also on 80, yeah.
Yeah, that's on the day, which leaves the league overall. Guru leading, 408 points. MAP Baitek second, just 1 point behind, 407. This is a right rivalry going on there.
And I say
isn't there?
Guru must have had a bit of a dipper.
Yeah. They were
Definitely.
quite
Caught
away
up.
in front, weren't they?
Yeah, they were
Yeah,
doing
yeah.
really well.
And then our very own Joe Carassa's team, Match Fishing Drawbags, are sitting third with 356. But I think there's a few rounds left, so
Yeah.
could change.
Yeah,
I know that
anything
them-
could happen. I think 2 or 3 weeks ago we were talking about it as though Guru were a home and hose.
Yeah,
They're
yeah.
Quite obviously not.
No. It can all change. You know, you've got, because there's so many teams in it, you can have a massive swing. You can drop 60 points in a single round. You know, it's possible.
Okay, a late result should have been in last week's show. You weren't here, so it all went pear-shaped.
I've got to say, I had Darren Cox ring me up crying last week because Matt had left him out. Couldn't believe it. He was ever so upset. But no, it's the
Sorry, Darren.
Garbolino Winter Festival at Whiteacres. Always a good event. 80 anglers fish over 5 days. Always a popular one. And Darren Cox actually won it. He had 31 points, dropping 7 points. It was quite tough fishing, Roger, I think, because, like you said, the weather was really cold last week, wasn't it? And it did obviously knock it on the head. I mean, it's probably even more unusual for it to be as cold as it was in Cornwall than it is up here, really, because normally they don't get the brunt of the weather systems because of the Gulf Stream, but it was freezing down there.
Yeah.
Mark Harper was second. He also had 31 points, but a slightly worse dropper of 6 points. And in third place was Steve Sanders, who had 30 points. So
Still some fish to be caught down in Cornwall, obviously.
yeah.
Okay, back onto the Angling Trust Winter Leagues then, and the Oxford division.
Yep, on the Oxford Canal this week. Looked like a really good match again. Mild weather's obviously let a few fish feed or made a few fish feed. The winner of the match was Mick Denton, who had £15.9. He caught mainly skimmers on the pole, bloodworm over joker. Second place was Dave Johnson. He had £12.1. He caught perch on chopworm, so a different net fish and a different tactic altogether. And third was Alan Brown, who had 11-3. He drew the bottom end peg, and he caught mainly skimmers on bread punch. So the top three totally different days fishing and 3 different nets of fish.
But the skimmers in all of them, I mean, there's obviously been some colour in it, one would imagine.
I think that canal is quite temperamental. Like. Sometimes it's clear and you can't get a bite. Other times it's coloured and some people catch a load of bream, don't they? And really mixes it up a bit. But on the team front, on the day, Drennan Oxford won with 41 points. Second was Drennan ODAA. What's that one, ODAA?
Oxford District Angling Association, one would guess.
Makes sense,
guess.
doesn't it?
Yeah, Ostrich and Dinosaur Angling Association. They had 34 points for second, and ISIS was third with 31.
They sound scary to you. I want them in my league. Would you?
I drew next to one and he fished the bomb all day.
Sponsored by Dynamite Days.
Yeah, it's not that ISIS.
The league overall, though, Drennan Oxford are winning quite clearly. They've got 8 points now. Census A4 are second with 15, so some catching up to do there. And Drennan ODAA third with 19 points.
Brilliant.
Just because the two of you got no formal education whatsoever, did you know that ISIS was the Roman name for the River Thames?
What's that?
There you go. You learn something new every week.
Look at that.
All right, Heron Brook teams of 4.
Yes. This was the final round of the pre-Christmas teams of 4. They tend to do the two leagues at Heron, but one before
and
Christmas
afterwards,
and one after Christmas. And this was the final round of the one before Christmas. And it was Team Guru who actually won this one as well.
Wow.
That team was made up of Andy Bennett, Connor Barlow, James Howarth and Craig Ebrell.
Decent lineup, that.
Just a bit.
Very good, very good lineup. Sorry, it was Tricast Guru actually, is the formal name for them. But they did well. They won the final round, so they really sort of cemented the place at the top of the league table. Individuals on the day, Adam Wakelin won the match from peg 1 on Bridgepool. He weighed 114 pounds too. And I spoke to him this morning. He said he had a lovely match. He caught some fish on maggots fishing across. Then he came down the shelf, caught some in front of a tree, got to his left, he said. Then he's finished off catching some at 5 metres out of his hand. So
lovely days fishing.
just a brilliant day's maggot
There's
fishing.
8 TF1s for that weight, isn't there?
Yeah.
That is a lovely day's fishing, especially this time of year.
Really busy day's fishing, isn't it?
Proper.
Yeah, well done, Adam.
And James Howarth, obviously Tricast Guru, he was second with 102 pounds. He was on Match Lake. Rumour has it he caught a few fish dobbing for that weight. And Adam Rumble was third. He had 97.14. So
It's been a close old match, really, individually, hasn't it?
brilliant match. Brilliant match. Again, you know, Heron Brook, this is a big old league. It offers some great competitive sport this time of year.
Yeah.
These F1 venues, they really do. I think they're brilliant, really, for match fishing. So
Excellent. Okay, my old stamping ground, East Midlands Winter League. It was the final round. That man Pollard did it again.
Ridiculous, isn't he? On the Raveley Drain, Benwick, on the old Neenan factory bank. It's ridiculous. I think he won on Sunday as well.
did he?
Yeah, I think he won on Saturday and Sunday this weekend. The match on a commercial, and then he obviously won this last round at Winter League. He had 16-12, old Polly, fishing pinky across on the long pole, beating John Taylor, who was second, who had 15-5 again, pinky and long pole tactics.
I think he's fed a lot of
drains.
squat as well, actually, though.
Right.
I think he's fished it Grand Union Canal style,
Did
or
he?
old Grand Union Canal style. The way that a long time ago when he was with Team Image, they used to catch a lot. They were unbeatable on the Grand Union.
Yeah,
and they
yeah.
just transferred those skills over to the Fens.
I bet he's still got all his old floats and everything,
Oh,
Polly,
yeah.
as
Almost
well.
certainly.
Yeah,
Almost certainly.
yeah.
I mean, it was another great match, and it bodes well for the Winter League final.
Yeah,
Definitely.
I mean, the people who won the league, the team that won the league, Census Mark 1, they had 14 points, obviously qualifying for the final, which is all on their stomping ground. They're going to have a good team because I know they've got some anglers who fish decoy regularly, and they've got a load of anglers who fish the drain, so they'll be a strong contender.
Oh, there's a lot of local knowledge there.
Yeah, it's only 5 minutes for a lot of them to practice as well, isn't it? So Rob Ewison will be go and practice, lads.
Oh yeah, Rob likes that.
Stan J Sports, second place, 15 points, 1 point behind, also qualifying for the Winter League final.
That's some lineup as well, isn't it?
Yeah.
Nuddy in there, aren't they? I think Polly's in that team as well, isn't he, I think?
Yeah, quite a few of them. But it were really, really close. It come down to section count back between second and third, between Stan J Sports and Browning Hot Rods. They both had 15 points, but
Hot Rods missed out, didn't
yeah,
they?
just on section count back.
And they'd have fancied that as a final venue as well.
I'll tell you what I was surprised about. Matrix Image was in 4th place, and last year I remember I put them down as my bet for winning the Winter League final. That's Danny Grimsey and Cy Colclough, all them boys. I and they missed out this year. They were 4th, but only 16 points, so they were 2 points off winning the league.
I fished that Winter League for many, many years, as I say, a long time ago, and I don't think you'd ever find a Winter League as tight as that.
No,
You've got 4 really, really top sides, and especially on that type of venue, because generally the Neen early in the season was very, very tough, and it did catch a couple out. But generally, good anglers catch plenty of fish, get plenty of points. It is a tough old league to win that. So, well done, Mark 1. Nice to see them there because they're a lot of my old mates. And then finally for the week, Census Canal Masters.
Yeah, this is the first one of this series. It's proved popular over the last few years. Basically, it's a series of qualifiers on the Loughborough Canal, with the section winners from each of the qualifiers going through to a final. This was the first one. 40 people fished. It was actually won by Mark Downs, who's having a brilliant run at the minute. He seems to be winning and framing everywhere he goes, doesn't he? He had £13.8. He did draw an MPEG though, apparently. But he told me to make sure I mentioned
Lee Carey's been giving him some advice about drawing, you know.
Has he?
Yeah, yeah.
Oh, is that what it is?
Yeah, that's what's happened there.
Ah, right. £13.8. He's caught some roach on bloodworm and some perch on chopped worm as well. Jay Scrivener, my teammate, was second. He had £12.4. And third was our captain Lee Wright, who had £10.15. The qualifiers on the day were Mark Downs, Lee Wright, Jason Scrivener, Tom Potter, Cameron Hughes and Mark Godfrey.
Excellent. Okay, well, thanks very much for watching. If you're watching this on day of release, on the Monday, and if you've got BT Sport, don't miss, there's a fishing programme on tonight and a bit of stick float fishing apparently.
Oh, that'd be nice.
BT Sport, very
BT
nice.
Sport this evening. So, failing that, we shall see you again next week.